And other global leaders work to address ongoing supply chain concerns. In Perry County, one local restaurant is feeling the impact. WYMT's Vivica Grayson reports.
A global issue impacting communities in the United States and beyond.
Solving this is going to take all of us.
Supply chain issues, creating problems by increasing prices of items in some situations while making others hard to find.
We have been told there's stuff sitting in the ocean, still on cargo ships.
A topic of discussion at the G20 summit as leaders acknowledge the situation is far from over.
The steps that we're taking are making a difference, but the only way we can really put these disruptions behind us is to put the pandemic in the rearview mirror.
Another issue is staffing. An additional problem, manager at Big Blue Smokehouse, James Peterson, says he knows all too well.
We do need servers, a host, and a couple of cooks, but mostly serving.
And as the holidays draw closer, preparations are a must.
We're having to order things in advance because we hear we're going to run out, so we'll get stocked up in the freezers to make sure that we have enough for our Thanksgiving holidays, to make sure we can do our turkeys for everyone.
But despite uncertainties, Peterson says he and his coworkers will continue to do one thing: keep moving forward.
I think it's going to work its way through eventually, but just as our owner is, smart businessmen, they just get ahead of the game and they just keep moving forward, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to continue to serve a product for the public.
Working through difficult times. In Perry County, Vivica Grayson, WIMT Mountain News.
Peterson says Big Blue Smokehouse recently relocated to the Hazard Village Shopping Center, which he says is a positive despite the current state of things.
And we've got one more little boundary to get through before we actually bring some drier weather back to the mountains. For the most part, as we head through much of the work week, for now, it's bringing us some clouds, giving us a chance for a pretty nice sunset out there. You see our time-lapse camera from the University of Virginia at Wise. Beautiful color working in, of course. A lot of fall foliage pictures coming in. We want to encourage you to keep sending those in, as well as some sunset pictures, because it's going to be a beautiful one tonight with those high clouds moving in. Same thing from the Mountain Parkway camera at Slade. A beautiful look to things as we head into tonight. Most of us in those upper 50s right now, though we're going to start to lower some of those temperatures down into the middle 50s as we head a little bit later on into tonight. Satellite and radar showing you what we're dealing with in terms of that cloud cover moving our way. You see that one system with some showers headed in our direction, and that will work into the area as we head into the overnight hours. So keep that WIMT weather app handy as we head through the overnight, because some of us could get a little soggy overnight. We're going to continue to see those temperatures falling to near 50 by 8 o'clock, below 50 by later on tonight, and some of us could be in those upper 30s in some spots as we start out our morning on Tuesday. A couple of showers possible as well as we head into tonight. I'll have the latest details on that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. With temperatures dropping near freezing this week, what better time to remind people to keep the safety and well-being of their outdoor animals in mind? WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to several people on the importance of bringing your animals inside or providing them with proper shelter to face the elements.
When the temperature drops, it's important to keep your four-legged companions in mind.
Simply put, if you're cold, they're cold.
Outdoor animals, especially any sick, young, or older animal, should be brought inside when cold weather is present to avoid any risks of hypothermia.
And it's just the same as if you had a very old person or an infant. You know, they don't do well in cold temperatures, and our animals at those ages don't handle that well either.
As for larger, healthy animals, they have better chances of withstanding the cold, but it's still important to ensure they have adequate shelter.
If you can bring them indoors, it's always better to bring them indoors, but if they have to be outdoors, then take the steps necessary to make sure that they're at least comfortable.
Making sure your animals have a space that protects them from water, snow, and wind, and ensuring they have straw or wood chips in their space to retain any moisture are just some of the many ways to keep your animals safe from the elements.
There's a lot that can happen, and a lot of it can be prevented if you just take the measures now. Like, it's starting to get cold now, so instead of waiting until it's 15 degrees outside, do it now while you still have time to prepare.
Teaching everyone the importance of keeping your pets safe and warm during the colder months.
If they're going to have to be outside, at least give them a chance.
In Hazard, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
And we're told the Perry County Fiscal Court has donated straw to the Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter. So if you are needing something to help insulate your pet's outdoor shelter, you can visit the shelter to pick up some while supplies last. A Kentucky attorney pleaded guilty to human trafficking charges. Attorney General Daniel Cameron reported that Robert L. Poole of Florence pleaded guilty to 5 counts of promoting human trafficking. Officials say Poole promoted commercial sex activity in Kenton County. Poole was accused in 2018 of 15 charges, including third-degree rape. Governor Beshear gave the State of Education address today. The governor says his administration remains education first and promised to fight for raises for teachers in next year's budget. He also addressed recent economic improvements he hopes will create careers for generations of Kentucky children. The governor also talked about essential workers in Kentucky schools and thanked all the teachers and school workers for the work they've done during the pandemic.
You're truly the best of Team Kentucky. You have fought this thing in so many ways, trying to put our kids first. And while there are many out there that might complain about what we have had to do during this, I just want to be grateful to you. Every day, whether it was remote learning or whether it was getting my kids back in school, you all worked tirelessly.
The governor also read off several names of educators and school employees who have died during the pandemic. In Louisville, people are getting help staying warm this winter. The LIHEAP program provides money to low-income families for their heating bills. To qualify, household income must be below 150% of federal poverty guidelines. Organizers of the program say many times families are faced with the choice of paying bills or buying food.
One time during the pandemic or during the summer months, a young lady came in. She says, "I've never been laid off. I've never been without a job." And at that moment, to come and ask for help, she said, this was abnormal for me. The fact that we was able to assist her in spite, and I'm grateful that she came through in spite of all the, the stigma behind receiving assistance.
Right now, the program is still taking applicants. Of course, this is a statewide program, and you can contact your local community action agency for more information. Well, a warning for drivers, especially this time of the year. Deer collisions are happening more, and in one southern Kentucky county, first responders had the same call over and over again Saturday night. The sheriff's office in Laurel County responded to 6 such calls. WIMT's Phil Pendleton has more on something that had police and now body shops busy.
Joe Magger typically sees a similar type of customer this time of the year after the actions of one kind of animal.
A lot more deer coming out on the roads are, looking for love, I guess, in all the wrong places, which would be the highway.
Officials say the shorter daylight hours, cooler temperatures trigger the breeding season for the white-tailed deer.
And as a result, they're on the move. And when they're on the move, they dart out across the road very frequently.
Saturday night, a sheriff's deputy reported 6 collisions from the northern end of Laurel County to the south.
Significant damage, but no injuries. That's the key.
Deer can cause minor to major damage to some that's quite unusual.
The deer, it actually was in a jump across the road, and the car was a Ford Taurus, and it folded the roof back to the second doors on it.
This Mustang is getting a new paint job because of damage caused by a deer.
We normally have somebody come in for an estimate, get something repaired. Anywhere between 1 to 5 cars a week wanting an estimate.
Slow your motor vehicle down this time of the year. It gives you more reaction time, and as a result, if something does run out in front of you, a deer, then you can do something about it.
In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WIMT Mountain News.
The owner of the body shop we spoke with today says if your car does need replacement parts, it could take longer to get them because of supply problems that are impacting the automotive industry. The final approval could come as soon as tomorrow for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 11 years old. The FDA recommended the child-sized dose last week, but the final say is up to the CDC, which is expected to approve the vaccine. Pfizer's pediatric vaccine has 2 shots, each 1/3 of the adult-sized dose. About 1/3 of parents say they are ready to get their children vaccinated. Another third say they'll wait and see.
The safety of my children is more important than my own safety. So if I'm not going to do it, then I wouldn't force my kids to do it either.
If the vaccine gets approval by the CDC tomorrow, children could begin receiving shots as soon as Wednesday. According to data from Pfizer, the child-sized dose was nearly 91% effective in preventing COVID. The Kentucky Wildlife Center in Lexington is asking for leftover pumpkins. The animals there love to chow down on the jack-o'-lanterns. You can drop off your donations at the center directly. It's on Georgetown Road, not far from the Kentucky Horse Park. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, for many of us, it's time to look at health insurance plans. What you need to know if you're signing up for Medicare this year.
And we'll see skies clear a bit later this week, bringing much colder weather for the overnights. I'll have the details on the way.